Mm, Hello. Well, one thing that was sort of interesting when I went to the doctor's thing, even though like the doctor he yelled at me. I can't see no doctor that yelled at me. No bedside manner African, you know. I don't trust a bitch. But anyway, they had these two guys in there that was severely uh one I'm sure he was just which I found very interesting because my last job I worked with people like that. He both of them you know one looks like the black one he looked like alcohol syndrome sort of, and and but anyway when I worked with these people the way they had got like that because I ended up like with the like has they make you have to read the files and everything. But the way they get like that, the other one he was I can't think of the word psychotic. Um, but the way they got from there is from physical and sexual abuse at very young, and neither one of them had language. That's another thing that I found very interesting. That these kids could be born with language, uh, because of the, the abuse, and so what happens is like they're born with some defect, and like the ones I read about when I was in Kansas, and you know they put them in a home or they left them with like a babysitter depending on each different case, and well, in this case, when they get their own home, they were put in a home. What happens is they get sexual abuse there, and they're not getting nobody that these kids already was born with some type of birth defect. Usually it's because of uh, crack or heroin. Some kids, it's just like alcoholism. So um, I remember they used to say, oh, you could drink like one glass of wine, you could drink a little bit. You don't have to worry about Down syndrome. Now they say don't drink at all. Um, but there was different severities and in the reaction, and also um, but there's different drugs that cause problems. That women that could take. Like if you're on like a lot of Percodons, well, and pain pills like that. But anyway, now you combine them, you're born with some fetal uh, syndrome, right? Um, uh, just a mild case. Uh, so then they leave you in the care. They leave this child in the care of somebody else, and this person, like say when they're washing them, they gotta take a little extra time in the middle part. And I'll never forget this nurse was like we're sitting there and we're having this conversation uh about the people in the house, and there was some issue, and she looked at me and she was going on how about handsome this guy is, and that's what triggered me with this guy. He's gorgeous, and I was thinking, you know, this poor child, first, he just didn't have any of the. He could have been normal, but he's severely psychotic. He can't talk. Oh, and that was the one thing that I found very interesting in studying them. That situation is that some of these kids they're actually born with the ability to speak because of the parents' abusive or maybe drug induced, like if they're on heroin or alcohol or or something that they don't communicate with the kid. And if you go past a certain point in their mental development, because even though the child's born, the child's a clean slate with nothing on it. You're introducing this stuff to this child. If you don't you don't introduce speech while it's developing, They don't seem to get it later on. It's just like if you leave your child, which is I thought was very like for somebody to have done that, they could be born with sight, but you leave them in a dark room, like all the time with no light, that they will go that their eyes will try to adjust to the darkness, and they'll be permanently blind because the brain's still developing. So while this young child's brain's still developing, you're hitting and whooping it, and it just causes permanent damage. And they're going on. He's frustrated because he can't talk, but he is communicating, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I can understand him." So I'm like checking him out, like, and I could understand him. He's having difficulty because he can't use one hand, because like they were born with some type of birth defect. First of all, like I said, either from like the other one looked like alcohol, just so, like his mom was alcoholic, because if you drink it and but both of them like was physically and sexually abused, and you can see the results, uh you know so and it's but I anyway the nurse was like she's like, oh, they're both so handsome. I'm like, yeah, because I had to like I ended up had to be at one of the houses for like 2 weeks, you know, to cook and do all this other stuff because like I was like he was like nobody else was there. You had to hire somebody. But anyway, they were like and like and I've had that happen before. They really think there's something wrong with you because like even though like but I mean I think that you really have to be a special type of perverted. Um, well, in their case, when they were young, you have to be a special. Anyway, it does so much damage. This guy can't talk. He paces back and forth. He's always biting his hand. That's another thing. Like they'll get forced. Like some guys like the idea of a bottle-fed baby because they're pedophiles, and they'll put their penis in the kid's mouth. Especially when they're real young, they have a sucking fetish, not for like any sexual thing to do, but it's for life force survival because they are geared to be fed by their mother, from a breast. So anyway, there's some perverts, and unfortunately in New York near Times Square, you hear it all. There's a gamut of all type of sickness, and but anyway, so she's like they were like baffled, like like, oh, he's so handsome, and I'm thinking really this damaged, drooling, babbling fool, even though he got some gorgeous face. You've had people in the past. Then I was thinking, oh well, that's why his position is probably open. And I'm just taking over until they can find somebody. Cause I'm not. You just, I don't know. I mean, they're nice people. Yes, except for but anyway, it's like so and let me tell you, like, and the guys, like, they so respect you, like, once, like, but I don't understand why would you strike out and beat the hell out of them and sexually abuse them? I mean, like, men have went down low, 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 low. Like, some fool gonna ask me, do I like masturbating? So I answer him, do you like fucking your children? Because if you worried about somebody masturbating, then you probably have a hard time raising little small kids. You'll end up with this psychotic oh my god, it's bad. And to find out that yeah, he could have still had that birth defect. I don't know what the original birth defect with this kid was, but it's because some of the pills that you can take, while you're in the womb can mess up the development too. So there is I can't even remember so long ago, because you read these things. There are some pills and stuff like that could cause type of fetal damage. So and 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 you also got to understand, even the father's sperm could be damaged too, either from like a lot of STDs, because a lot of men just are not taught that when they start having sex that they should, maybe start going to the doctor, uh, like a lot of times these guys are going to men doctors. Like they need to tell them, look, I'm a little, you know, I'm sexual active. It's like especially like, it's like what I'm saying. Like even if your mom's in the room, it's like, Doc, can you ask my mom to leave so I could talk to you about man stuff? You know, about my scrotum and stuff. And they'll ask, like if you've got a type of hovering mom, they'll ask them to leave, and you can tell them, look, I'm sexual active, and I just, uh, I need a blood test. Or you go down to the health department, but you could probably get to know your local doctor too. Anyway, but women have to go to OB doctors, and usually we find out because we had do yearly ones. When you start bleeding, they're gonna anyway. So both of these kids did not have to be born that way. The other one, he's very the other one that has more. He's sitting down. He's more subdued, like because one was white, one was black. The white one, he's moving around. Because I'm thinking, you know, pretty much every, like, but it's the frontal, and then also when you hit kids, it causes permanent scarring and permanent type of development different than a child that doesn't get hit. And then you can see the severe. That also could be the severe case of the black one. Like like you've heard of like when they shake the baby, you know, it's basically the same thing. You knock the kid in the head a few times, and the brain's developing, and it bangs against the skull, and and it's called a concussion. Anyway, but this is how. But it's like the far, and I don't even know if the guys that's with them knew the whole background, because I guess they should, and I'm pretty sure they do give them like something to read up on the person. But the idea that when we were having that meeting with like the different medical people, I was having, I was very surprised that so many people, I didn't make my coffee. So many people had sexually abused this poor child. And yeah, face is gorgeous. I'm not gonna take it anymore. The face is gorgeous, but messy today. Package. Medical supplies. I had to get a first aid kit just to have. Anyway, I got but it, anyway, I see that here, and like I guess I'll go to the church Sunday. I'm not gonna go to I think on Easter Sunday, so but I'll probably go to church this Sunday, unless Jerry's supposed to be here. We're working on the bathroom. Now we gotta just do the whole floor. We just sit and stop the toilet from falling. I gotta to call him, make sure he brings that other toilet because he's in Mississippi. But anyway, and but the thing is that people are always surprised that if you're not sexually abusing, yeah, I I mean personally, just a gorgeous face is not something I really can appreciate a gorgeous face. I like to draw, so I do like that nice chisel look. Uh, I mean, everybody should enjoy looking at something that's pleasant, and and then it's just so interesting the behavior. Well, I know I was gawking. And I know he was wanting me to tie his shoelace because he's like going like I can't tie it with one hand, but he's not saying this, but he's motioning that. And I'm saying it out loud because I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. I'm just see where they're engulfing like, oh, he's gorgeous, I want to fuck him. I'm engulfing like, what type of fucking parent would do that to such a child? Oh, one that only cares about their self gratification and acts like the child ain't nothing but a piece of fucking wood or a dildo or something, you know. And then the parents are never gonna come around because they know how, they know what they did to this child, you know. Uh, and that's one of the reasons why they usually end up and then when they get into like a nursing home, like, and this is how the ones get these homes. When they end up in a nursing home, they get sexually abused again. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I know I'm sort of weird. Like, the only thing I can think about when I look at the men around here is like how in the '90s, you know, like the AIDS, yeah, the AIDS was really exploding in the '80s, and '90s a lot of people around here really fell off. Um, but like I would look at them, and these guys would talk about, yeah, I don't wear rubber, and I don't. Maybe they dead now, but they weren't wearing rubbers. Yeah, I like I yeah, blah 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 blah. You know, you're like, I ain't never gonna fuck you, you nasty, blah blah blah. But they, you know, but like they got girls running after them, and they just know they're cute. The only thing that saves me on that is because they think they're so cute that everybody wants to fuck them, and so like, you know, like they'll just like flaunt themselves at you. Oh, I know you want me, and you're like, no, I really don't. And then those guys really get pissed off when they find out, no, I really don't. Yeah, you're gorgeous, nice physique, you know, and I'm thinking about, you know, this guy's well proportioned. And I got that from when I was in elementary school. All of us was short. All of us short people got called in. They were measuring us. And all I remember is after they finished measuring, they were like, a proportion, you're perfect proportion. I never understood because like I went around for years thinking, well, I'm well proportion. I didn't understand until I saw little people like of LA or something, because like some of them was about our height, and but they're not proportioned. And I do think a person that is proportioned right is more pleasantly pleasing to the eyes. And you know, the guy's proportioned right, perfect. He was a perfect baby that they perfectly ruined through sexually and physically abuse. So you know, and that's such a and that's one of the things that like the Russians and a lot the Russians had a big problem with. There was a good study with that with them and their orphanage because the boys would be rocking the boys, you know. You know, like, oh, your dad's gonna want to teach you all about how to be a man, you know, way too young before your balls drop, and and then the dad gets a little bit too familiar with his son, and their brain goes like this does not compute because like you usually that's toppled with also, you know, if you could do sexual things to you know at a physical level, hitting is nothing usually, like you don't have a problem because you're not empathizing, you're not and let me tell you one thing also I found very interesting is that the parents that did it had it done to them, but they will cry to you about how they was abused, how bad it was. I remember asking, I'm like, if it was that so fucking horrible, if they ruined your life so that, well, why are you doing that to your child? They lose it. They go off. They lose it. That's when you find out. Does child when you like? Cause my dad always say if you do like a karate chop, you know, you can really hurt somebody. That's when you're like, if I do a karate chop, will I really hurt them? And you're like, hit me again, bitch. Knock that bitch fuck out. I hit them in the bad place, but I got their attention. It's like sometimes, you know, because you don't know these fuckers. You know, if you could hit a child, I'm sorry, like these bitches around here, you could hit a child. If you could hit a child, you could kill a child. If it's okay to beat and have sex with a child, then you won't have a problem shooting a motherfucker. But you will have a problem thinking I'm going to be your friend. Anyway, I got to go get my coffee on and make some breakfast. It was 80 degrees yesterday, 83 degrees yesterday. It's 47 degrees. I woke up cold as shit. I was like, what is wrong with me? It's cold. So, you know, I don't want to turn the heat. This weather is wackier than, you know. But, of course, we have a retarded, overly sex president that's been in the sex industry so long. I believe he has syphilis. That's the only thing is they'll his family's been in the sex industry and brothels and stuff for so long that I'm sure somebody knows how to handle. It's like usually they handle the men, that but that's they just been having been with prostitutes and stuff like. Oh, it looks like Pence has been with prostitutes, and it's so funny because they're the type of parents that end up doing that to their kid. Like this, you know what I'm saying? Because they want like anyway, 20 minutes.